Hello everyone! My name is Nelly and welcome to my channel if you're new, which you most definitely are because I'm new, so anyway, that was the first time I've done an intro and it's so weird. But anyway, I haven't read a book in, what day is it? In like 10 days. So we're gonna change that and hold on. I forgot to grab the book before we started, but I've been wanting to read Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco for so long. I bought it a month after it came out, but even before that, before it came out, I really wanted to read it because I love Kerri Maniscalco's Stalking Jack the Ripper, so I was like, I'm sure I'll love this too. And first of all, this is set in hell, which already intrigues me. I think it's gonna be a little bit darker probably than Stalking Jack the Ripper. I kind of hope. Also, the love interest in here, Wrath, he has, like, I've seen the pictures, like the drawings that people make, and he has an arm tattoo of like a snake wrapping around, like the snake head, and like his body wrapping around. When I tell you, I've had that in my head for years. Like, I love the idea of being with a man and like he just has a snake tattoo with the head right here and it like wrapping around his arm. And then I like I started thinking too, like if the snake head is right there, and then I can even have like the tongue on the middle finger. But yeah, I've had that idea. So I feel like Kerri Maniscalco and I have like similar I can't think of the word, but similar things that we like. So yeah, and I'm sure I'm gonna love Wrath too because I love Thomas Cresswell. So honestly, it could only get better, right? Let's hope. But yeah, I'm so excited to read this. Also, the little snippet they put in the back makes me really, really excited for the book. Okay, I'm gonna get into it. Although it is 11 p.m. right now, so it's kind of a dumb time to start reading. But honestly, even if I just read like a couple chapters, we're gonna get into it. Two things, we're literally only 6 pages in. One, there's a lot of like Italian just thrown in to this story, which I do like. And two, it's so funny that the twins, they're 8 years old right now and they're romanticizing the princes in hell. I'm like, this is literally me in a book. Like, I knew Kerri Maniscalco was gonna write to my soul, and she's writing to my soul. We're 6 pages in, she's already writing to my soul. So Amelia is me. She's like, I'd rather go home and read. And then she was like, the book she's reading, where was it? The hero expressed his love in many colorful and physically astounding ways. Essentially, they're having sex. Or like his stamina could be considered miraculous. And then she says, I've certainly become a believer of impossible expectations. That's literally me because I'm a virgin right now. So obviously I haven't been with anyone. I don't know what it's actually like. But because I've been reading romance for almost 10 years, it's like 7 or 8 years now, my expectation is like, it's like over here. And if you ever watch like comedy or anything like that, they basically take the reality and they make jokes of it, but it's like relatable jokes. So my expectation over here and the reality that everyone actually talks about is over here, and I'm just like, okay, but now I have this impossible expectation that no one's gonna meet. But yeah, it's not just comedians, but like people I know also talk about it over here, and it's just like, okay, but you need to get from here to here because my expectations are like, okay. I'm really enjoying. We're literally 22 pages in. We're not even far, but I'm so enjoying this. Just a quick note, I'm really enjoying how like well researched this is. Not even like history wise. I just feel like she knows a good amount of Italian, just random things here and there, Sicilian, but also just like the foods they're making or the drinks they're making or anything like that. When she's having one of the girls, you know, think about some menu like piece they might like to try, like that's not something you just write. That's not something that I just go and write. It's something you have to actually test to see would that even work. At least I feel like, I mean, technically you don't have to, but you basically have to test it out first to see what it's like, see if it would even work for you to do it. So I feel like it's just that she well researched this. I'm sure I'll come to care more later, but I feel like that revelation scene of her finding her dead sister wasn't that climactic. I was kind of just like, when I read it, it was like there was no emotion from me, which is kind of, sad considering this is like a heart-wrenching moment. It is a heart-wrenching moment for her, but I didn't feel it. And that could be because we're only 40 pages in, so it's kind of hard to feel emotionally attached when we don't even know the characters yet. But it was a little anticlimactic. I was hoping for a little bit more from that scene. So we are a whole 53 pages in. That is the first 6 chapters, and I lost my train of thought. I remember. And honestly, it's a little annoying how she's just like she's so stuck on the idea that no, it must be a human witch hunter, that she's not even considering that, it could be something supernatural, because she's supernatural, so it could be something supernatural. She's just so set on the idea that it's a human. It's a little frustrating, because it's like, how, like, you grew up in the supernatural world, you grew up with magic. No part of you considers that a magic doer, someone in the supernatural world, could be the reason for the kill. It has to be a witch, it has to be human. Like I get her pointing for why she thinks it's a human witch hunter, but I feel like she should leave some space for, it could be, Nona could be right, it could be supernatural, it could be one of the princes, it could be something else, So I'm enjoying the story, obviously, but we're 100 pages in, and it's like, it's sort of unconvincing. I don't know, like, I feel like Stalking Jack the Ripper was just done differently. And I know I shouldn't be comparing it to her original book, but even, like, not comparing it, it's kind of, I don't know, it just feels more, like this would have been the debut. But yeah, we're on chapter 14, and she just brought the shirt over for Wrath to wear, and he was like, no. And she's so stuck on the idea that she controls him that he can't say no to her or something like that, which I found odd. I was like, okay. And he straight up just told her, he was like, bitch, you don't own me. Well, he didn't say that, but he was like, summoning does not equal owning. So he's like, you can't, I'm stuck here, but you can't tell me what to do. But yeah, it's not as convincing. This story's not, I'm hopeful. We're only 100 pages in. We have 270 pages to go. I might be completely wrong, but I'm gonna give my little theory of Victoria's little section, and we'll find out by the end of it if I'm wrong or if I'm like partially right. I think Victoria's not actually dead. Well, I think she's dead in the human world, but I think she's still alive in hell. And I think what she was doing was, like, getting married to the devil. It was like, I thought of it when, Amelia found her dead, and she was wearing the white corset, and, like, it was more like a bridal look. I thought of it a little bit before when Victoria was just talking, like, was gushing over the dark section. And then when Amelia found her in all white, I was like, oh, it could be like a wedding ritual thing. The only thing that's not convincing is, like, her heart was ripped out, and so were the 2 girls before. If it was just her, I wouldn't have thought anything. But, like, the 2 girls before her, I don't know how to put that in, so I don't know where that goes in. But right now it was like, Pride is the one associated to be like the devil, and Pride is the one Victoria was speaking with, and so it could have been like a ceremony taking place, like a wedding. So I think Victoria is still alive. Like, I think Victoria is behind whatever is happening. And I feel like it's going to be kind of like, what was the book called? Caraval by Stephanie Garber, where the sister is behind it all the entire time. We'll see. I spoke too soon. He literally just mentioned what happened to the other girls. I mean, they could. Victoria could still be a part of it. But yeah, maybe I spoke too soon. I still think Victoria's a part of this somehow. Like, I think she's... Emilia and her are gonna talk again. We're 70 pages through, and I will say, the first like 50 to 60 pages were like a ton of fun. We're 100 and almost 30 pages through now. It's like okay, but it's not great. It's a little like slow, you know? I think it's gonna start picking up when Wrath is let out of the containment and they're going through this mystery together. Because I think that's what Kerri Maniscalco does really well, is mysteries where the two of them are doing it together. Because, I mean, Thomas Cresswell and Audrey Rose were really good at that. So, hopefully, it starts picking up, which I'm assuming is going to happen soon. I feel like, well, at the very least, he's going to be out of his containment in another day, because it'll be 3 days. So at the very least, he's going to be out within a day. So I feel like that'll be soon, like 20 pages or less or so. But yeah, right now it's a little monotone, kind of boring, but I'm sure it'll pick up. She said, I don't know what I was expecting to find in Greed's office, like what Greed's office is going to look like, but it wasn't. A lavish room fitted with layered Persian rugs, an oversized desk, plush leather chairs, and a dazzling crystal chandelier. That is exactly what I was expecting. That is the exact definition of what I was expecting from Greed's office. How was that not what she was expecting? I mean, I guess, but like, that was the exact image I was expecting. How funny. There we go. She said someone from her circle might be responsible. That's what it's like starting to inkle in me. I'm like, I don't think it's witch hunters. I also never thought it was the demons. Like, I always assumed it was the supernatural world, though. By demons, I mean the princes. And I don't think it's any of the princes either. Like, I feel like they'll want the DiCarlo sisters on their side. So I don't think any of them would have hurt Victoria. So I think it's either some other witch or something like that, or I'm having a growing suspicion it's the Brotherhood, the group Antonio's with. I have a feeling at some point in here, like maybe the climax scene, maybe before the climax scene, Emilia and Antonio are gonna fight because, you know, Emilia's a witch and Antonio's with what is the place called? Monastery? So I'm leaning towards that. I'm leaning towards someone in the church. Honestly, it's starting to annoy me. She's being really dumb. Like, she took her cornicello off and she left it on the counter. I get taking it off and just like showing it to the grandmother, but then put it back on. There's a reason you were told to never take it off, especially now knowing that it's part of the Horn of Hades. Like, why would you leave your cornicello off? And then she left it off the entire time. She straight up just went and talked to her grandmother with it sitting on the counter behind her, like it wasn't an important thing. Like, oh my god, she's so dumb. She's so dumb, it's getting on my nerves. Audrey Rose would never. Oh my god. So her thoughts are accurate and like smart, you know, don't just trust anyone. but I feel like in a way it's written kind of juvenile. Like I'm reading it and I'm like, oh my god, you're being so annoying. But like it's the right thoughts. I just feel like the way it's worded within the story is kind of annoying. But also, I don't know what it is, but something about Wrath is reminding me of Rhysand from Akatar. Like he's the bad guy to everyone else. He's the bad guy, but he's actually like a good guy, and he found this mate. And it's funny too because earlier when Envy said, I don't remember what he said, like something like, oh, my brother will have you, or you'll be with my brother, you'll choose him, or something like that. That's kind of like the people in Akatar when they kind of saw that Feyre would end up with Rhys. Just saying, I'm getting hints, I'm getting little sprinkles of that. Although this story is going a lot slower, but I am getting sprinkles. I am enjoying the gothic part of the story. That is something Kerri Maniscalco does well. But up until she got attacked by, I don't know how to say it, Viperidae? I don't know how to say Viperidae, by the animal. I was like, damn, this is kind of boring. And then she got attacked, which I was expecting. I was like, oh, she's gonna get attacked. Like, there's no way she's leaving, like, soundly. I was expecting her to get attacked and for him to come after her. So that didn't surprise me, but it just started to get a little bit more interesting. Although it just, I don't know. That's the part when he saved her that it started feeling more like Rhys. And then I guess she got like a look into his thoughts. And then him being betrayed, like not being betrayed, but like having the expression. He's just, something about him is reminding me of Rhys, and in a good way, because I love Rhys. He's literally my baby daddy. Like, I love this man. But yeah. Yep, that blood vow solidified it. I think there is some type of resemblance to Rhys here, where he makes it look like he's the bad guy, but he's like straight up a good guy. Like, he straight up wants to protect her and like wants her to be at ease, but at the same time he's acting like he doesn't care, which is a very Rhys thing to do. But Rhys was way better written. Like, it was just more emotionally connected, and Rhys just like, I mean, I don't want to compare Wrath to Rhys, but I am getting similarities. But no one will ever compare to Rhys. I'm just saying, I'm getting similarities. So I just read a couple more chapters. Oh, actually, it was like 30 pages. I don't know how many chapters that equates to. Honestly, it was kind of boring. I think this book is having, like, it started off fun, and then it got boring, and then it got fun again, and now it's boring again. So I'm sure it's just like, it's like a little roller coaster. But yeah, I have class soon, but I wanted to take a little bit of time to read. It was okay. It wasn't the greatest. So we just got to the point where they got the messenger, and the messenger was like, yeah, I've been kind of like selling your secrets. And so Wrath was like, I guess torturing, not really torturing him, just like hit him and like with the knife and all. And then she used the truth power. I feel like it's all supposed to be darker and more, you know, gothic and scary. Not scary, but like more on the darker side. But it's reading like it's trying too hard. Like, I'm not convinced of anything that's happening right now. I'm just like, okay. But it's like, it doesn't seem gothic, and like the atmosphere isn't fitting because I'm not getting any of that from the story. This sucks, bro. I had so many hopes for this book. We still got a while to go though, so I don't know how long, but I think I have like 140, 150 pages, something like that. So hopefully it turns itself back up. I would just like to say, I like Wrath. I do not like Emilia. She's so annoying. we just got to the part where she found out that they're betrothed, or like she just broke off the betrothal, I guess. She's like, all this time I thought I was in control. Like, literally, you haven't been in control at all, bro. She's so full of herself, and it's like you can be confident. That's one thing, but she's so conceited, and she has no right to be conceited either. She like there's no basis for her conceit. It's literally she just came out of it because she summoned this demon from hell. Just because you summon the demon doesn't make you all powerful. Doesn't make you the best. Doesn't mean you'll control him. It's just, oh, she's so annoying. I need some retribution for this girl. Also, quick note on that same section, like right after it, where she's like, right now I don't want to see Wrath right now. Back to my comparison with Reese. When Feyre found out they're mated and didn't want to see Reese for a little bit, she found out they're betrothed and she's like, yeah, I can't see him right now. I need some time apart. Just saying. Another annoying thing that Emilia keeps doing. Wrath has 6 brothers. Pride is the devil, so we'll take him out. There's still 5 brothers. But she's so focused on greed and envy, she doesn't even consider the other 3. Just because you haven't met them yet. First of all, doesn't mean they're not topside. And second of all, doesn't mean it can't be them. You're not. She doesn't consider them at all. I'm 282 pages through, and she just wasted 2 weeks of her life grieving, which I feel like, I guess, it's just, I don't care. I'm so bored. This is such a letdown. I will say, a lot of this has been boring, but this part with Claudia going mad, I feel like in terms of like just writing, this is probably the hardest part to do, because you have to, and it's like a lot. Claudia's talking a lot. You have to make whole paragraphs of her saying random things that sound like nonsense put together, but actually mean something. I feel like that's the hardest part. And like, you have to make it sound crazy, but also make it make sense. Kerri Maniscalco gets a bit of praise for that, because that sounds so hard to do. Is it Domenico? That would be good. I don't know how I didn't even consider that. I mean, we don't know it's him for sure yet, but how did I not consider that one? I think it's because it was so obvious that I just overlooked it completely. But like, it wasn't though. And the stuff that isn't so obvious is usually what I look at. Okay, we don't know it's him yet. But wow. I'm mad at myself for not even considering it. You see, I like that part with envy, but also I'm not convinced of his, of him being the bad guy. It very well could be, and might be. I don't know, maybe that was a confession, I just didn't really pick up on it. But I'm not convinced. Like, a lot of this book, I get what the story's going and I get the point and stuff, but I'm just not convinced of it. I'm just like, you're gonna need to try harder than that. There's no emotional connection. There's nothing for me to care enough or to be like in the story so much that I'm like, oh my god, We're on chapter 40. I don't know what's gonna happen. There's like 50 pages left. It's all coming to the climax. But right here where she's getting ready to go out and look for her amulet in order to, have the Horn of Hades, she's like, I'll make a deal with Envy to close the gates so that they can do whatever they want. She keeps acting like she has any power over these people. She has had zero, absolutely no power over any of the princes. She has never outsmarted them. She has never held anything that they wanted that they couldn't get by threatening her or by, seducing her or something like that. Like, she has had zero power this entire book. The amount of conceit in this woman, I don't understand where it comes from. Did I not call it? Antonio. Did I not say? I wasn't sure earlier when I said Antonio was gonna be like part of the climax, if he was like the person or if he was just gonna be part of it. I was like leaning on both, but I knew Antonio was gonna be the bad guy. Oh, what? Okay, we're at the climax. There's like 15 pages left. We're almost done. I called it. Also, you probably can't tell, but it's snowing. Finally. I did not like the ending. I was not here for it. I really thought this was gonna be a whole ass romance. And she fucking marries the brother. I'm not here for it. I don't... Hold on. I'm gonna go read the synopsis. Oh, actually, the synopsis for the second book isn't even out. Is it? Oh, we're gonna find out. Hold on. The synopsis for the second one is not out. This was so disappointing from how boring it was at most point. The last like 50-ish, 50, 60 pages were interesting, and it was getting like way better. Nah, actually, that's probably being a little generous. Probably more like 40 to 50. Like, yeah, 40 to 50 pages were a lot better. I was getting excited. And then at the final part, I was like, nah, she's not gonna actually marry Pride, you know? She's gonna find a way with the Wrath. Nope, this motherfucker signed to be part of House Pride. Oh, I know it's gonna cause, like, all this other stuff. I don't know. I have to stop going into things with such high expectations. It doesn't help either that all of the pictures that people have drawn for this book is like the two of them together. So I just had this romance in my... Oh my god. Okay. Whatever. It was at like a 3 stars until the ending, and then those like 40, 50 pages pushed it back up. I was like, oh, it's getting good. It was like 4, and then the ending dropped it back down. So it's like at 3.5, I think. We'll see. I'll do like... I'll round out my thoughts later, but I think that's what it's gonna be. Okay, we are here the next day for my little wrap up. I think I'm gonna stick to the 3.5 stars because I just altogether I wanted to give it more, but I couldn't. It didn't fit for me. Yeah, so overall I was disappointed. I think a big part of that was my expectation going into it, which isn't fair because part of my expectation was just what happened in Stalking Jack the Ripper. And then part of it was just all the pictures that people had drawn on like Instagram and stuff. Or I think they received them in boxes or something like that of Wrath and Emilia together. So I was like, oh my god, this could be another Audrey Rose and Thomas Cresswell. It's gonna be like such a cute romance. They're gonna be working together. No. Which also, I think a big part of it was the pictures that messed me. Because I think no matter what, I would have expected the romance. But if you really read the book, Emilia and Wrath actually don't have as many scenes together as you would expect. Like at one point during the book, I was actually like, they haven't been together for a while. So part of that was on me. I put way too much expectation on it. But it was still disappointing overall, especially for me because romance is such an integral part of whether or not I like a book. So unless I go into it knowing there's no romance, that's a different story. Or like knowing there's very little romance where I don't really pay attention to it, that's a completely different story. But normally, first of all, I don't read those books, and second of all, I wouldn't pick those. Yeah. Oh, my other thing going on with romance, I'm scared this could be a love triangle. I don't know if this is gonna be a duology or if it's gonna be more books, because right now they only have a second book announced, so I don't know if we're gonna stop on 2 books. Because if we're gonna stop on 2 books, I don't think this could be a love triangle. But if she's gonna continue on, I think there's gonna be a love triangle. Not that she's gonna be in hell, like she'll be the queen of hell. If there's a love triangle with Pride, I will kill myself. Which, I mean, if you think about it, there was a love triangle with Tamlin and Rhys, and everyone ended up loving Rhys. So really, I shouldn't be judging right now. But Whatever, especially since Wrath reminds me of Reese, like, you cannot not choose him. But here's my thing, I feel like there's gonna be a love triangle because now she's the queen of hell, so it's like she's married to someone else. But at the same time, I feel like there isn't gonna be a love triangle. Especially like at the end of the book, like that chapter where she signed the thing to be part of House Pride. She was talking like, and Wrath was taking her to hell. She was saying, I don't remember the exact line, but something like, all of these, you know, demons I'm scared of, but I was scared of Wrath more than everyone else combined. I'm gonna find the line. Hold on. Found it. She goes, there was no earth, no connection to the natural world, nothing tangible except my grip on the prince I now hated more than the rest combined. Okay, so it was a little different from what I just said. But basically, her like extra emotions, like her extra hatred for Wrath, which is because she's like, wow, you're like not even gonna try, there's no love in your eyes kind of thing. I think that's really gonna push the romance in book 2. I don't know that. Will I read book 2 is another thing, because book 2 comes out October 5th. It's January 27th right now. And if it were out right now, I think I would, because I'd be like, no, I have to know if she ends up with Wrath. But because there's 8.5 months, I don't see myself still being interested, because this annoyed me so much. But because it annoyed me so much, I might pick it up just to like see. I don't know. But yeah, overall, the atmosphere was just like, it was gothic, but it was trying too hard. I just didn't feel it. I was bored most of the time. It's just, Kerri Maniscalco let me down. But it's okay.